my son. Trust no one. You can count on no one but yourself. Improve your skills, son. Harden your body. Become the #1 man. Do not ever let anyone beat you.
All right, greetings, family. And the question that I have for you is, what are you planning for in the future at the present? Okay, that's my question for you. And I want to thank you guys for watching my videos. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure that you share my videos, hit the notification bell. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's my first goal. So let's get the needle moving. Support a brother who's doing something positive, who's trying to put out a positive, helpful message. So yeah, we want to hit that goal of 1,000 subscribers, right? Got a lot of things that I'm trying to do, situations and corners and angles that I'm trying to work. And I want to introduce y'all to my first manga character, Neto Duwaila, which is African, and it means he who comes with fire. And this is Neto Duwaila. He's going to be on my YouTube channel, Invincible Anime. He's also going to be a character, or one of the shirts I'm going to have coming out through Amazon Print, right? It'll be one of the characters that I have on the Amazon Print on t-shirts and things of that nature, right? The Warrior King. And that's going to be Invincible Anime. It's going to be posting the manga at, hopefully to make it into an anime on YouTube, maybe the first hour and a half anime to be posted directly to YouTube with its own characters and cast. So that's a goal that I'm working towards. But first, I'm working with the manga and everything. So make sure that you support. I got a GoFundMe going for that and everything, because I'm paying some people to actually put this together for me. We're bouncing ideas about where we're going with it and everything, man. So hope that y'all subscribe to that channel, right? It's going to be on the t-shirt as well. I'll let y'all know that's coming out. It'll be out here pretty soon. Let's see here. Okay, guys. Also, one of my original creations and shirts is going to be this shirt here, which is going to be on Amazon and everything. Print on demand, right? Samson Fitness. All right. And also, I'm going to have my YouTube channel, Samson Fitness, for those who are trying to get in shape and get fit. And before you get to judge about, oh, you fat now. But you have to understand is that 2019, I lost like 120 pounds. I lost 80 of those pounds like within 4 months. But due to the virus and the fact that I do like to eat and stuff like that, I do understand that this stuff we call food is not food, but junk that we put into our bodies, I gained all the way back. That's all the more challenge for me to try to lose it if you guys come on this journey with me, right? So if you put in Samson Fitness, you can see what I look like pre-coronavirus and everything. Because my face was probably even a bit, my face before I started losing weight, probably even a bit more puffier and chubbier than it is now. But you can see like what I look like when I dropped down the weight. I look really good. I got pictures of me in the gym. So I'm gonna be doing a reboot on Samson Fitness. I got these shirts coming here pretty soon, right? Okay, something that I'm working on. I got this coming here, and this is coming from overseas, right? This is called a Shima. It's a Muslim headwear, whatever. Well, not necessarily. But Muslims do wear it, but also people who aren't Muslims wear it, whatever. And you can wear it as, something fashionable. You can wear it as a tie around your waist for the ladies. For the guys, you can wear it, as a bandana. You can wear it as a head covering, keep the sun out of your face, keep your head warm during the winter. To wear it as a mask, to go into different stores and things of that nature. And these are going to be $15, and that's going to include the shipping with it as well. I have these coming. These will be here, I think, like the middle of March. I have these on order with a few of my other business partners. A couple other things we have on order too, but I wanted to show y'all this tonight. and everything. It's called a Shema. So I got that coming, right? Let's see here. Also make sure you get a copy of my book. And I'm gonna do some updates on the links to the in the back of the book, just to what I got going on now. But this book is a great read. It's very informative. It's called Wealth Creation of Wealth. You get Amazon Prime, you can download it. Make sure you flip through all the pages for me so that I get credit for it. Then make sure you buy it. It's $8.99. It's a quick read. It's a good read. It's very inspirational and it help you in getting on the path to being where you want to be and everything. It's called Wealth Creation of Wealth by Henry Jones, right? It's a great read, family. A lot of book has a lot of fillers in it and stuff that sometimes I don't want to go through all the filler. I want to beat the potatoes because I'm trying to get certain information out of it. And some books that are 200-300 pages, whatever, it's an awesome read. It holds your attention through the whole thing. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, enjoyed it. Had a lot of fillers in it. Stories and stuff like that. They really you can't do anything with, but just enjoy the read of it. Another great book is by Reginald Lewis. Why should white guys have all the fun? About the first African American billionaire in the 80s who bought Bill Patrice Foods. Great read. I could not put that book down, literally, and everything, right? So this is $8.99. Wealth Creation of Wealth on Amazon. You can get the Kindle version or you can actually order the hard copy. And I appreciate those who have bought the book because the book is selling. And I thank you for that. And I'm trying to put good information out to get you right here first. It all starts here first, family. You got to understand how to save, how to invest, and how to spend your money, right? And I will tell you that I believe in holding on to hard assets. I believe in holding on to cash. So I would say have a third cash somewhere that you can get access to, a third in your savings that's your saving trying to build, but if you need that to get quick access to, then another third into portfolio income, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, etc. Things that are going to acquire more wealth as time goes along, and it's going to pay you a higher dividend rate than just a savings account. You're not going to make any money off a savings account. That's just a place to keep your money there in case you need it, right? And then the other third you got in your pocket, and you got it going into other, business ventures, hustles, i.e., etc. Okay, that's why I tell you, because they're trying to move us towards a cashless society where you won't have any hard cash any longer, and I don't think that's a good thing. I've worked in the banking system. I thought that person at the airport, the car's not working. It's 10 o'clock at night. All systems are down. There's nothing we can do. They're stuck. They don't have any money. They're cussing and fussing. I talked to somebody who was in the Mojave Desert. The car wasn't working. No cash. Really? Talked to somebody in Italy, and they were cussing. But fortunately for me, the cussing was going in and I was like, my card ain't fuck, mother, son of, and then the call just went out. You know what I'm saying? But they were in Italy without any cash, right? Asked somebody to call me and say, hey, my car's not working. A fraud alert on it because they felt like the car was being used, someplace that may not have been the person who owned the car. I was at a business meeting, business dinner, and I tried to use my car to pay for the dinner for all my friends and associates, and it didn't work. But luckily for me, I had another car, but it was somewhat embarrassing, and I don't keep cash. And in my heart, I want to say, sir, always keep cash, and we moved to a point where now debit card is the highest use for transactions in the U.S., and second is money. But then you have now they're doing the mobile app. We can put the card on your mobile app or whatever, and just use your card and stuff like that. And we're going down a road where they're going to try to make cash, gone with bitcoins and all that stuff. So only thing I can tell you is to try to use more cash to slow down that process. And when we finally get to that point, to just spread out your assets. So hopefully that you always have something to pull upon. Buy gold and silver and precious metals. Hopefully you can get it at wholesale. Because we buy it at retail, you buy it at a higher price and what's not really worth because they're marking it up. But even if you buy it at retail, don't buy it to be flashy and buy it to hold on to it. So if you need to convert that into a online monetary currency, that you have the ability to do that. So hold on to your hard assets, right? Let's see here. Yeah, man. And you know, got a lot of things I'm working on. Not only here on YouTube and this platform, other platforms I have, but also, in the real world. And I'm trying to cover a good bit of information, not make the video too long, right? And I'm gonna be doing. Make sure you subscribe to my Patreon, Elder Brother Khalid, right? I'm going to be going a different route with my YouTube videos here over the next few weeks. Got somebody coming on Friday to talk with me. Everything goes as planned. But like dating, relationship advice, maybe some business advice, whatever. You're gonna see more of that on my Patreon platform and stuff like that. So make sure you guys subscribe to my Patreon, Elder Brother Khalid. I haven't put the energy that I needed to into that platform, but I'm going to go to that here in the near future because you guys have a lot of questions. I see some good answers, some okay answers, and some people that don't know what they're talking about. I'm not going to call names and go into all of that and stuff, right? But just to give you some examples, right? You can watch, if you want to understand a woman's nature, right? Watch my videos, A Woman's Nature 1, 2, and 3, right? Because women can be loyal to a man, but they always are susceptible to temptation. That's what the story of Adam and Eve teaches you, that women can be loyal, but they are susceptible to temptation more so than a man is. Because he didn't approach the man, he approached the woman indirectly. Now, if a man is a weak man, then he's susceptible to temptation as well. But being human, we all have our weak and strong moments and stuff like that. But women more so than men have those weaker moments, right? Because they're the weaker sex, and that's just the truth. Also, watch my video, the story of the pimp, the player, and the square. How all three of those are different. How all three of those apply to the dating world. Good information, right? On my Patreon, I'm going to deal with the sex topic, right? And you're going to get information here that you may already know, you may not know, but none of these other guys are talking about it because they really don't know. Like when it comes to pleasing a woman, right? Quick example, right? Men are made to be fruitful and multiply, right? That means that you are made to impregnate women. That is your purpose, right? Now we're not getting into like the monogamy of the relationship. We just talk about your sexual prowess, right? A lot of times, in this climate that we live in this culture that we live in, there's a pressure on us to perform, and many men feel or are told that they can't or are not performing up to the standard that that woman wants, right? So understand this right quick, right? Let's get into it, right? On your penis head, right? Your penis head has 8,000 nerve endings in it. Okay? 8,000 nerve endings. So when you're being intimate with a woman, you're entering her and stuff like that, it is highly sensitive. Which can cause quick ejaculation and make you feel bad. But you shouldn't feel bad. Because sex is made to feel good. Sex is made to, procreate, to bring children in the world. That's why it happens like that. And what a lot of men who may be considered sex gurus in your environment, in your communities and stuff like that, which I don't know about a lot of them, whatever, is that they're doing a lot of things that lead to their demise eventually to try to be that stud. They're drinking, they're smoking weed, they're popping mollies and Percocets and all sorts of chemical drugs. They're doing cocaine and heroin, speedball when they mix cocaine and heroin together. All this stuff to try to make themselves, be more intimate, last longer in the bed. Why? Because when you take intoxicants, what does it do? It numbs your senses, so you're not as sensitive, but you're destroying yourself in the process of trying to please a woman, right? Well, you don't have to do that. It just takes some practice and knowing what to do, exercises, and good eating habits to get to the point where you don't need any of those things. You shouldn't be doing any of those things in the first time, because the only thing that's going to lead you to is destruction, right? With women, right, that little nerve ending at the entrance of their vulva, right, the vagina, the vulva, right, the vagina is actually inside, the vulva is on the outside, right? That is the most sensitive spot on a woman, her clitoris, right? It's like a little penis, really. That's what it is. Even though it ain't as big as my pinky, right? That little thing has 4,000 nerves in it. That little thing has 4,000 nerves in it. But still, though, it has half the nerve endings of your penis. And during sex, you're not having direct contact with the clitoris, which takes a woman longer to have a climax. See what I'm saying? Because the only contact it's getting is from, you know, her labia, her lips, rub up against it, you know, and to the point where through internal penetration and her labia, the inner and outer, rub against the clitoris to the point that she comes to an orgasm. But it takes her longer because it's not a lot of stimulation going towards that, you know. And we'll get into, vigorousness of it, you know what I'm saying, your rhythm, your size, how all that can impact it, good or bad or whatever. But yeah, so in a sense, you're at a disadvantage and stuff like that, because you get direct contact with walls and lubricants and stuff like that. It feels really great. So if you have a master control or whatever, then yeah, of course, that should be expected. And with a woman, you're at a disadvantage because she's not getting a lot of direct stimulation to that. Now that's you have her the A spot, the G spot, the clitoris legs or whatever that's on the outside of the vulva. But her main stimulation is always going to be her clitoris. That is what's going to bring her to the climax. Everything is just adding on to that, and it's a mental thing. That's why you have to get her highly aroused first before you enter her, right? And an example of that, right? That prove that it's mental, right? Be you a man or woman, think about this. Let's say if you're a man, you're fapping. A woman, you're fapping, right? When you're fapping, yeah, you can get to the point where you satisfied yourself, right? But if you have a woman that's fapping you, it feels 100 times better. And why is that? It's still a hand. It ain't necessarily because of the softness and all that stuff for the hand. It's mental because your mind has recognized through your visual that this woman is doing that, and it's a mental turn on. So you begin to have all these magnetic, chemical impulses, whatever, release all these pleasure chemicals, hormones, or whatever, to heighten the feel of it, but it's based on your thought process. And after your thought process, your mind, your brain takes over, start releasing all these chemicals, whatever, where it makes you peak before you have to, or you're well excited beyond because of your mental process of this woman doing it to you versus you doing it to yourself. Because if it's not true, then it would feel the exact same whether she's doing it or you're doing it. And that's not so. And that applies to everything else involved in that. You're not gonna get that nowhere else but here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you some stories on my Patreon. I'm gonna tell you about some books that I read on my Patreon, because you just don't know how to have good sex with your counterpart. That's something that's learned and developed. You get the game from saying your uncles, your dad, stuff like that, the dudes in the streets and stuff like that. For people like me, I got that. I got both of that, and then I went into like the science part of it, the book part of it. Understand what is this area that I'm working with, when I'm working with, and stuff like that. Just an example. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get into that. Matter of fact, I'm going to start a lot of videos in the near coming future about that. So make sure you sign up to my Patreon. If you need information, I'm gonna have it for you. And it's worked for me. It'll work. It should work for you, I think. People say, can you increase your length and your girth? Yes, to a certain extent, yes. Because number one, you want to make sure that your phallus is receiving all the blood that it can receive or whatever, right? And just as you can be like a 600-pound light person with your hands and your limbs spread all over the place, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, your organs get larger, your heart, your lungs, your stomach, stuff like that, to their detriment. But also says that you can increase size and girth as well. I'm not saying you're gonna go from like 5 to 9. That's not I don't think that's possible, whatever. But with proper exercise, you can definitely probably put on half to a whole inch, more, and make it more girthy with some good eating habits that help with blood circulation, and certain exercise that you be careful with doing it and not being a rush particular time and stuff. So I'm gonna be going into that. I'm also gonna be talking about how to have a healthy relationship, how to build, a healthy marriage and stuff like that with the right woman, because in order to have a good relationship, you have to be able to teach your woman something about morality, integrity, and how you work together as a team, and then you stand and live on that principle, you know. And I'll tell you one thing that I'm just gonna put on my Patreon or whatever, right? Is that woman will live and build with you and go the route that you go if you stay on your course. If you show your strength, that you're not just, lying to her. What I'm saying? First time you break her heart, do something wrong, then you derail it for the most part. Also, you have to have her heavily invested in you. Whereas if she was to lose you, she would feel that loss. She fears that loss. And I'm gonna get into that on Patreon, right? More in detail, man. So yeah, man, I'm trying to give you some solid information, man. Give you guys some some solid stuff. Let's see what we had. A few more things, right? We talk about money, finance, business, the things that we need to navigate this matrix, navigate the society and stuff like that, right? Working these jobs that we don't like, being told to do things that we don't want to do, being paid the minimum amount, when we know that we should be getting more. But, people tell you be happy because you got a job. You should be happy that you got a job, but your job should pay you what you're worth. The job says work-life balance. You should have work-life balance. You should be paid a living wage, where you can pay your rent, pay your car payment, pay your bills, have something left over to the next pay period, something saved to invest for your families and stuff like that. So increasing minimum wage ain't gonna do it. They don't taking minimum wage $15. Worst decision ever. You look at places like California, so certain parts of California, Washington State, Seattle, Texas, New York, Philadelphia, places like that where they're paying much more. The cost of living is much more. Those two go hand in hand. That's why people who are up there, DC area, when they retire, they move to the southern states and stuff like that, right? Because a beautiful home like here, like in Virginia, right, $300,000. You can get about close to 25 to 5,000 square feet home, brick construction, 2-level, about $300,000, right? Seattle would have paid where the money's like high. I seen HDTV. They got houses out there for like $500,000, and the house looks like my grandmama's house. In downtown in the hood. That's because the price of living is higher. So when when the income rate is higher, then the price of living is higher. So they push things up to $15 an hour. What's going to happen is that you have to realize is that you have the business owners, right, who don't want their profit to decline. You have the banks who think if a business is trouble, they won't reloan to the bank. They'll try to call in on the debts. So they'll try to call in on the debts owed by the business. Then they won't reloan to the business. Then you have they have what we call a fiduciary responsibility to the other investors who want to see higher returns on their money, not lesser returns due to income increase. So what they will do is they will start to clean house eventually or whatever, and they'll hire more part-time people, give them less hours or whatever to equate to whatever it is that they were making at $10 to $12. Everybody's already pretty much for the most part making above minimum wage anyway, $7.25. Everybody making about between $8 and $12 now, right? So push it up to 15. Hey, they're gonna do what they got to do. Whereas one time they may had a rule of, like Walmart, right? Before I left there, right, I was in the management, right, and they had a rule where they said we're going now. Most of the time we could hire people in full time, but they said we're going to a rule now of 70-30, meaning that 70% part time, 30% full time. and that was to offset the wage increase for everybody, right? Or for the hourly associates, right? Because management, I was already making way more than that, right? So that what happens is that they will start to hire more part-time people, give them less hours to try to make up for that $15 an hour. Also, what will happen is that it'll cause them to send more jobs overseas where they're paying way less, and also what will happen is that it'll make trade harder because if we're paying people $15 an hour, we're trading with these other countries like Africa, the Middle East, South America, large majority of Europe, whatever, where they where their money is a whole lot less than our money. We won't be able to trade our product. They won't buy our stuff because they can't afford it. So what has to be done, man, is that you have to learn how to work, hustle, and do well for yourself by generating extra income, getting a skill or trade or whatever, getting a hustle together to get yourself out of this rat race. Also building relationships between your wife, your children, your wives, saying some good friends, stuff like that, to put your money together to build wealth. Because going back to those houses, right? What I learned, or what I saw was, right, like I'll see like these really nice homes and stuff like that, right? I'll see like police officer cars out there and stuff like that. People coming out of these nice homes, military people. I'm like, man, how do they afford these houses? These houses are expensive. But what we kind of find out is that somebody owns the home, and what they do is they rent rooms out. I met a paramedic, like, yeah, we live in houses out there, there's new construction, and we're renting the rooms. It's myself and two police officers living in there and stuff like that. We're renting the room, but we don't own the home. Like, oh wow, okay. So what's happening with these really nice houses, with these really expensive apartment complexes that are like, $15,000 to $2,000 and higher in some other places. You got people that are working class people living in these homes, whatever. Everybody is either renting a room or they're pulling resources to try to get into these places. Because $50,000 ain't enough. Really, $100,000 almost really ain't enough. Cause with $50,000, right? Look at it like this: $50,000, you're probably a year, right? You're probably pulling in close to about $1,400 bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, right? So that's double that. If you make $100,000 or whatever, right? That means you're pulling in what? About $2,800 every 2 weeks, right? So you're pulling in about $5,000 a month. But you can't, if you try to do the math, like, well, that ain't right. Don't do it by month. You have to do it based off of pay period. So it's either you do it by, since we say bi-weekly, you do it by 26, because it's 52 weeks in a year. And so if you're getting paid bi-weekly, that means you're getting paid 26 times out of the year. That will give you your numbers that I'm talking about. So, with $100,000, you can be somewhat comfortable and everything. We talking about a $1,500, a $1,500 to $2,000, rental payment, another, $800 for a car payment, $200, $300 for car insurance, light bill, etc. It'll eat into that real quick. But $50,000 definitely ain't gonna get it, and yeah. So a lot of stuff I'm gonna be discussing, man. I'm gonna be discussing like different kind of hustles that you can do that I've done that's been pretty effective, because the world is changing, with this coronavirus and these, weather events that we're having, and then you hear all the rumors and stuff like that, and rumors are rumors, which I don't feed into a whole lot. I listen to it, but I don't feed into it. I don't worry about it, because I know it's their plan and then it's God plan. I always trust in God plan that regardless of whatever happens, whatever goes on, that I'm going to be okay, because I believe in God Almighty. I trust in God Almighty. So I'm a Muslim, saying the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, they are the same God. There's only one. He's the creator of us all, But yeah, man, so thank y'all for tuning in to this video here. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate the love and support. Talk to y'all later. Peace.